तुषाराद्रिसङ्काशगौरं कबीरं मनोभूतकोटि प्रभाश्रीशरीरं स्फुरन्मौलिकल्लोलिनी चारुगङ्गा लसत्फालबालेन्दुकण्ठे भुजङ्गा.
A warm welcome to all the devotees. On Raksha Sutra English, we are going to narrate wonderful holy stories to all the devotees from the book Miracles of Love by Ramdas Ji, an exclusive devotee of Maharaj Ji. Please listen carefully, all the devotees. In 1951, my father, the district magistrate, was ill and in great pain. He would had a 99-degree temperature for 30 days. 4 days before he died, Maharaj Ji came and brought him 4 roses. To my father he said, "You will be okay." To me he said, "The body has to finish." Although all these incidents concern Maharaj Ji's devotees, his healing energies extended far beyond them. In the following story about Subramaniam, Dr. Larry Brilliant, a Western physician who was brought to Maharaj Ji by his wife Girija, we catch a glimpse of how Maharaj Ji worked indirectly. In this case, he worked through Subramaniam and the World Health Organization of the United Nations to speed the eradication of smallpox. The first thing he said to us as we walked in and sat down was, Doctor America, how much money do you have?" I said, "Oh Maharaj Ji, I have $500. No, really, how much money do you have?" I insisted that this was all I had. He said, Yes, that's in India, but how much money do you have in America?" I thought about it and I confess to being a bit concerned that this was an appeal from him for money for some temple, and I said, "I have only $500 back in America," which was true. Then I hastened to add, "But I also have a very big debt from medical school. I had to borrow a lot of money to go through medical school, and even though I have $1,000, I owe a lot more than that." He said, "What? You have no money? You are no doctor." It sounded exactly like something my mother would say. He looked at me and laughed and laughed. "You are no doctor, you are no doctor, you are no doctor, you know doctor, you know doctor." I didn't understand what he was saying. Then he said, "You are going to give vaccinations. You will go to the villages and give vaccinations." "You want me to give a shot to someone here?" I asked. I didn't understand what he was instructed me to do. Everybody else understood except me. Finally, he looked at me and said, "Dr. America, you know doctor, United Nations Organization doctor. You will work for the United Nations. You are going to go to villages and give vaccinations." In fact, I had made a very casual inquiry of some acquaintances who worked for WHO, the World Health Organization, but they replied that WHO was not hiring anyone at all. Meanwhile, over the next few weeks, Maharajji was always asking me, "Did you get your job?" I would always say, "No, Maharajji," and quickly drop the subject. One day, Maharajji said to me, "Go to WHO. You will get your job." So I went to the WHO offices in New Delhi and saw the man to whom I had originally spoken. He was very friendly but pointed out that WHO had no openings, and in any case they only hired expert consultants from medical schools and institutions outside India. Then he said, "But there is one program. If they could ever do anything, it would be really nice, but it's doubtful they will be able to achieve their goal because it's so difficult. It's the smallpox program. The Indian government right now is adamantly against expanding the WHO program to fight smallpox. They have other problems such as malaria and family planning. Smallpox is not their higher priority, but I will take you to see the French doctor Nicole Grasset, who directs that program." We made an appointment to see her, and then I returned to the home of two of Maharajji's devotees, the Burmans, and borrowed Burman's suit and bought a terrible tie. I tied my hair into a ponytail and hid it under a white shirt. My costume was bizarre and ill-fitting, and Nicole realized at once that I was just another hippie. She said, "I'm sorry, we really don't have a job, but it's awfully nice to meet you." So I went back to Maharajji, and he again asked, "Did you get your job?" I said, "No, Maharajji, let's just cut this out." 2 more weeks passed, and Maharajji looked at me and said, "Go back to WHO." I took the bus, train, bus, rickshaw trip back to WHO. Once more, I talked to my acquaintance Ned, and this time I filled out a different type of form, typed it a bit more properly, and sent it in, and spoke with Nicole on the phone. Of course, there was no job there. The next week, Maharajji asked if I got my job, and then asked me to call Nicole. It was getting embarrassing. This time I called her from Vrindavan. Again she told me there was no expansion of the smallpox program, no possibility of hiring American doctors, but she thanked me for continued interest in the work. Sometime later, Maharajji suddenly called me and said, "Immediately go to WHO." I took a train and went immediately to WHO. When I walked in the door, there was another man there. He said to me, "What are you doing here?" I gave my usual line, "I have come to WHO to work for the smallpox program. My guru told me I would work for WHO." Remaining story will be narrated to all devotees in next episode. To listen the wonderful holy stories of Maharajji, please like, share, subscribe the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon. Write in the comment box, "Jai Neem Karoli Babaji Maharaj."